Beetlejuice doesn't understand Beetlejuice. Now, I know what you're thinking. Favor, how can you say that Beetlejuice doesn't understand Beetlejuice? Beetlejuice was made by Tim Burton, the same man who made Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice was scored by Danny Elfman, the same man who scored Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice features the return of Michael Keaton as Beetlejuice, reprising the role from Beetlejuice. And it is at this exact moment that I have run out of patience for my own joke, so let's get on to the part where I explain myself. I'm going to describe for you a scenario, dear viewer, or rather, I'm going to pitch you a story. Before you get too excited, it's not an original idea, it's a sequel, so don't go thinking I'm breaking the mold here or anything. The sequel is set some 30 to 40 years after the original and gives us a glimpse into the adult life of the intrepid young teenager who was the first film's protagonist. The last time we saw this character, they were having a dance party with their friends, celebrating their defeat of an evil monster who wanted to ruin their life and eagerly looking forward to a bright future with the friends which they made throughout the film. It was a really sweet, heartfelt way to end the character's story and show that things are going to be going well for them in the future. Very good, lots of warm and fuzzy feelings, everybody clapped. Well, this film is going to open with them old and depressed. They're a washed-up has-been who is estranged from all of their family members and suffers from deep-seated psychological issues related to the events of the past film. All of that optimism which we left the first film on, the assurance that this character and their friends were going to live long and full lives is dashed, it's shattered, we're curb-stomping it, and there's nothing you can do about it. That character you liked, their life sucks now because that's just the way the cookie pops pills. If you think I'm talking about Lydia Deetz from Beetlejuice, you'd be wrong. I'm actually talking about Luke Skywalker from The Last Jedi. But isn't it weird that they sound so similar? Now, the only reason I'm referencing Star Wars in relation to this is because of how famous Luke Skywalker's treatment in the Disney movies is. Everyone who's even slightly clued into pop culture knows that when Star Wars The Last Jedi came out, the internet collectively lost its mind with how poorly Luke was handled. The hopeful, heroic protagonist of the most iconic sci-fi trilogy of all time, reduced to a cowardly hermit who sat by and watched the galaxy get taken back over by the very empire he helped destroy. Oh, and he also genuinely considered killing a sleeping child because the child was having a bad dream.
Best season ever!
I'm bringing all of this up because when I first watched Beetlejuice, I was underwhelmed. Part of that's probably because I'm not that attached to Beetlejuice as an IP. I only saw the original for the first time a year ago, so I'm not some lifelong fan the way many other people my age are, and so I was willing to chalk my lack of passion for it up to just not being that invested. But the more I thought about it, the more I realized that whether I'm invested or not, I just think it's a bad movie. The treatment of Lydia Deetz in this movie, as far as I'm concerned, is virtually indistinguishable from Luke Skywalker's treatment. Sure, the specifics of the franchises and genres they are in aren't the same. There's no scene of Lydia trying to kill Jenna Ortega with a lightsaber, but functionally and thematically it's the same story. Lydia went on a crazy adventure in the first film and almost ended up getting involuntarily married off to a sex-crazed demon, but with the help of Adam Baldwin and Gina Davis, she managed to overcome him and send him back to the afterlife where he belonged. Her strained relationship with her parents was repaired, she had a healthy and happy relationship with her ghost parents as well, and things were looking bright for her. That's kind of the entire reason the first film ended on a musical number with them, because everything's worked out perfectly for them and Lydia set up to have a happy life with her family. And then Beetlejuice establishes that she's grown up to be a pill-popping, anxiety-riddled nutcase who is constantly afraid of the possibility of Beetlejuice returning to try and marry her again, once again estranged from her parents and from her daughter Astrid, in a relationship with a slimy TV executive who keeps her pilled up because it's good for business. It completely forgets that this is not the trajectory that the first film left her character on. It undercuts the happy ending for her character completely, and it really serves to underscore the fact that Hollywood desperately needs to stop making legacy sequels to beloved IP. Han Solo is a divorced failure who messed up his life so badly that he's abandoned everyone he cares about. Luke Skywalker's a failure who messed up his life so badly that he's abandoned everyone he cares about and just wants to be left alone and die. Indiana Jones is a divorced failure who messed up his life so badly that he wants to abandon everyone he cares about and die. Lydia Deetz is a widower hosting a failing TV show about paranormal activity who is neglecting her relationships with all the people she cares about. You get the idea. The only difference between Lydia and the examples I listed above is that Lydia hasn't slid as far down the slippery slope as they did. The plot of Beetlejuice kicks in before she can get to the point of wanting to kill herself like those other characters did. On a side note, what do you think the over-under is that Shrek 5 will be about Shrek and Fiona on the verge of getting a divorce and Shrek having to go on an adventure with his daughter to rediscover a reason to keep living and win Fiona back? Because I'd be willing to place money on something close to that. Sorry, Shrek. You are no longer an all-star, and you will not be getting your game on or going to play. It happens to the best of us. Apparently. Anyway, this is what I mean when I say that Beetlejuice doesn't understand Beetlejuice. It literally doesn't even understand the ending it gave its own main character. Lydia Deetz growing up with such a petrifying fear of Beetlejuice that she would literally get addicted to pills over it is not what the first film's ending promised. It is far bleaker. I don't know what it is with Hollywood and their hatred for the olds, but they need to just stop making movies about old people if they keep this up. It seems like modern day Hollywood is only able to conceive of old people hating their lives, sucking at everything, wanting to kill themselves, or some combination of the three. That is only true for some of them, and we need to stop generalizing all old people this way. Some of them are super happy. Just look at Santa Claus. That dude's old and he's jolly. It's possible, Hollywood. Not every story about an old person needs to be Logan. Or Beetlejuice. There are other things about Beetlejuice which could be picked at, like Beetlejuice's ex-wife having absolutely no effect on the plot to the point that you could cut her out of the movie entirely and it would still work exactly the same, or the fact that Beetlejuice's powers are just as wildly inconsistent as they were in the first movie. I mean, come on, this guy has the power to possess an entire church full of people simultaneously and force them to perform an entire dance number against their will, but can't stop them from saying his name 3 times and banishing them. But that has more to do with the movie's writing in general, which I'm still just not that passionate about. It's a disappointing movie with sloppy writing, but I think the thing which deserves attention is its treatment of its main character. It's just as out of character and disrespectful as the way many other characters have been treated in their legacy sequels, but I haven't seen anyone talking about it. I think the fact that this kind of writing is even seeping into movies made by filmmakers who obviously care about what they're making, I mean, come on, Tim Burton literally created this IP from the ground up, is a bad sign for the way Hollywood is heading. This trend of just making your protagonist an old, sad failure in your sequel is downright lazy at this point. It's been done a dozen times over, and no one ever likes it when it happens. The best outcome you can possibly hope for is the literal outcome Beetlejuice had, skating by mostly under the radar as an okay at best sequel to a beloved film classic. Like I said before, either treat the characters better or just don't make a sequel at all. Thank you so much for watching this video, especially so if you stayed to the end. I hope you found it to be a favorable experience.